That was a pretty spectacular flameout on all things Jets for them to release Jay Glazer scoopage, hide it in the Super Bowl coverage, just never mind about that whole thing we just did at quarterback. What a disaster.
It was a totally failed experiment, especially based on all the hoopla when they signed him, right? I mean, the Jets' Super Bowl odds went through the roof when they signed Aaron Rodgers as if he was still in his prime. Then he misses his whole first season injured except for 4 plays. And then the last season, here's the weird thing. He didn't play that terribly. His second half of his season was not bad, but he was surrounded by a bad team that he could not lift up. A failed experiment, and it's just, to me, it's like, oh, they want to move on from him? My reaction was, no, duh, of course they
Put it
would.
on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do the Jets have any experiments that are not failed experiment? Or put another way, is to call the Jets experiment a failed experiment redundant?
Dan, it's a tricky one because I don't know what the Jets are going to do at quarterback next year. And to Greg's point, since October 27th, I think, Aaron Rodgers had 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Like, he was really, really good.
Good second half.
And so I understand why the Jets kind of want to walk away from all the stuff that goes on off the field with Aaron Rodgers. But what are they going to do? And how are they going to find someone who over a 10-game span throws for 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions? They're not going to find that guy. And so I would kind of leave the door open if I'm the Jets to Aaron Rodgers coming back, because I don't think Aaron has a ton of options, and I think the Jets are his best option. And I think the Jets kind of need him.
Why are you falling in love with when he played bad defenses? He's nuked the last 2 seasons. He
Uh-oh.
was bad at the start of the season. There were winnable games that he didn't win.
I know.
That Denver game nuked your season.
I know, but Mike, what I'm falling in love with is the idea of who's going to be our quarterback. Like, who is going to be the quarterback if it's not Aaron Rodgers?
Jameis Winston?
No, Jameis Winston is not good enough.
His numbers were comparable to when you shoved Zach Wilson out the door. Like, maybe it's Aaron Rodgers.
4, Mike.
No. Your season on the end of the season, and he closed stronger than he started. But overall, this was a very bad experiment. Wasn't worth the headlines. And also, they're probably going to lose what they invested in Devontae Adams now, too. All of it was bad. All of it was super predictable.
Yep.
He is a different quarterback. And when all the pressure is off and his friend's over there and he just wants to spam him yards down the field, he'll chuck it down and show you that he can still throw it, but he refuses to for the vast majority of the season when it mattered most. Don't fool yourself into that close.
Mike, I'm fooling myself into the fact that we don't have a quarterback. We never have a quarterback.
He's barely above a replacement level guy, though,
I would say
on the totality of the season.
I don't even have to look at it. I'm guessing over an 11-game span, that was the best 11-game span by a Jets quarterback in probably 2 decades.
He's only getting older, dude. It's been a very long time since we've seen him be awesome on a consistent basis. We were talking several years, an Olympiad.
Right.
It's been a long time. That's not the way the aging process works.
I think one of the things at play here is that we have to realize LeBron James and Tom Brady are aliens. They were aliens. You can't replicate that. And now, because of Tom Brady, you just assume that somebody like Aaron Rodgers is going to be great at 37 and great at 39 and maybe play into his 40s. It doesn't happen. Tom Brady was an alien. The norm is Aaron Rodgers falling off the cliff and failing at his age.
Late 30s.
Yeah.
Right.
I happen to think, though, that, and I know this is not popular in sports shout era, I happen to think that both Stugotz and Mike are right about this because while Mike is saying barely above replacement player, Stugotz is right that in the history of the New York Jets, a 10 or 11 game run of 18-4 is absolutely not Zach Wilson. Like, I know that there are numbers that can be cherry picked to make it look, especially when it comes to wins and losses, like those tenures are the same and everyone hated Zach Wilson, but I understand how it is Stugotz gets tempted by the last 10 games only because in their absence, he has no idea what's going to play quarterback for him.
Right.
And there's not a lot of worse positions to be in, and I'm assuming they're going to draft a quarterback, but there aren't a lot of worse positions to be in football. than heading into an offseason and there aren't good quarterbacks available. Or, as there is in this offseason, somebody's going to take a chance on Aaron Rodgers if he wants to play as a starter because they're in the same predicament that the Jets are in. We don't have someone, and we need to sell tickets with some hope at that position.
Someone might take Daniel Jones. Someone might take Kirk Cousins. There are some guys out there, but those aren't solutions. And I don't know if those guys are better than Aaron Rodgers. In fact, they're not.
Well, you can make an argument that Kirk Cousins is not anymore. He touts that arm injury as the reason. But you mentioned Kirk Cousins and Ben Roethlisberger towards the tail end of his Steelers time. These were teams that are like, well, we could probably be better, but what do? We're worried about what if we reset and we get worse at the position somehow. Yep. And they end up holding on to those guys maybe a little bit longer than they should have. You are not in that class.
I know.
The Steelers and the Vikings were way closer. You are not a good team. So you hit reset. You don't just keep treading water with this guy that is not going to get any younger, that is not going to be less outspoken, that is not going to bring you fewer distractions. He's just not good enough at this stage in his career to welcome all that other stuff, and you as a team are not good enough.
My biggest fear 2 years removed from the Achilles is that Aaron Rodgers will go somewhere else and have the season I wanted him to have here.
But he's not
with the New York Jets. Like I would rather him be bad with the New York Jets than be good elsewhere.
That's insane. He's not going to be good with you next year.
I know. I'll take it.
There's no way he's good.
Russell Wilson.
I like Russ.
A straight up trade.
Justin Fields.
I don't want.
Pittsburgh makes sense for Aaron Rodgers.
There was a point, I think I said earlier this year, that Justin Fields should be the Jets' next starting quarterback. But that was then. This is now. That was before 18-4. I mean,
Sam Darnold reunion?
No.
Oh, come on.
Sam would never come back.
What
to
a
the
story
Jets.
that would be.
Sam would never come. At this point,
No.
You believe that the situation of the Jets is so dire that Sam Darnold would never go back there, but you'd be willing to want Sam Darnold? Because I assure you, Sam Darnold will not look without Justin Jefferson the way he does with Justin Jefferson.
I don't want him. We don't have that guy. All the best things that have happened during Sam Darnold's professional career happened away from the New York Jets. He is not going back to that dumpster fire, I promise you. And the Jets don't want him, so it doesn't matter.
But that's not the part that you threw it through that prism with at first. At first, you made that 2025 is the year that Sam Darnold. That's a thing that's so. Think about what have happened the last 5 years in football that Stugotz is saying today. Sam Darnold doesn't want to come back to the Jets.
And Flacco reunion.
Right.
Round two with
maybe.
Flacco. I mean, that's an interesting
Flacco.
one.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe third stop's a charm for Mac Jones.
Don't you think Sam Darnold would take less money to go elsewhere? Do you agree? Like, let's say the Jets made the biggest offer to Sam Darnold. You think he's taking it? Because I don't.